Why, hello there YouTube and welcome to a random review. I am Random Ross and today I review Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So this is the second installment of the Indiana Jones franchise. Although it's the second film, it's actually a prequel to the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And of course it's set a year before the first film, so 1935, with the story by George Lucas and directed again by Steven Spielberg, starring Harrison Ford, Kate Capshaw, Huy Quan, Amrish Puri, Roshan, Seth, and Phillip Stone. So, in this one, Indiana Jones is on the adventure once again, this time in the search for the Temple of Doom, where he is joined by psychics for this one, Wilhelmina or Willie Scott, a nightclub performer, and also Short Round, an 11-year-old he's 11-year-old Chinese psychic, as it says here on the wiki page, which he is really, or I know him as Gadget from Goonies, but this was before he did Goonies. So basically they're on the adventure once again where they stumble across an evil tribe and what have you, and they end up in the Temple of Doom where Indiana's put under control as part of this sacrificial ritual and what have you. But of course, Indy eventually snaps out of it, saves the day in time, and rides off again into the sunset with his friends, and we all, have a happily ever after with this one. And of course, we know he doesn't die because with this being a prequel set before the first film, it's obvious that he's going to survive it. Now, why it's a prequel, which I found out like 10 years ago it was a prequel, something to do with George Lucas not wanting the plot to have Nazis involved or anything, because he had the idea for the third film to have the Nazis in it again or something, and he didn't want it to be like a back-to-back thing or something. So yeah, I mean, he could have still done it, I guess, without that, but 1935. Anyway, yes, this second film, I love the opening where, Willie comes out singing, the song Anything Goes, opening it with a musical number, which I think feels a bit tacky and cheesy, but I don't care. I like that opening, and I like that song. Of course, I also liked Gadget in this, or Short Round as he was called, who was some good comic relief and was a great sidekick to Indy. Of course, we had Harrison Ford being like the professor, or the Dr. Jones, caught up in the whole ordeal that he didn't want to be there in, and we even have that iconic dinner scene as well where they're eating insects, then she wants that soup and she has human eyes in. Yeah, quite creepy. I believe this as well, like the first film, was PG-13, was introduced by Steven Spielberg, so it can apply to younger audiences over a certain age, so kind of between the R, I guess, and the PG, or in the UK it's 12A. But yeah, that certificate took off in the States. I don't know what the ratings were probably the same in the UK, PG-18, all that. But of course it's got some good, visuals with the effects, I think, even though they're a bit dated 80s and that, but I like the scenery and the setting and, the whole adventure aspects and the locations they go out on to film this, and to me that's what makes the whole adventure worthwhile. Before we get to the big finale, we get all this action and all this comedy and all this fun stuff, and of course Harrison Ford nails it. Like I said, like the first film, it was a year after he did The Empire Strikes Back as Han Solo, and then this one, it was a year after he concluded the original Star Wars trilogy with Return of the Jedi, so he did Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and I think this is actually better than the previous one. I do. I think it's slightly better than the previous film, and I do enjoy it. And yeah, it's a fun one. Indiana Jones at the Temple of Doom. I mean, it's 3 minutes longer than the first film, but not that it really makes much of a difference to it. I mean, there are a few moments where it's a bit slow and a bit dull, but it soon picks up again, and it just keeps me entertained throughout a good just under 2 hours of Indiana Jones action. So, what am I going to rate this one? Like I said, I enjoy it slightly more than the first one, so I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5 for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So there you go, there's my review on that one. So, have you seen it? Let me know down in the comments below if you have. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And to share with your friends, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and to hit that notification bell. If you love horror, I have a channel for that too, linked down below, so feel free to check all that out. And that's it for this one. So, until next time, I bid you all a goodbye friends, goodbye.